October 28th, 2021. Mark Zuckerberg stood before a digital green screen and effectively deleted the history of the world's largest social network. Facebook was gone. In its place stood Meta. It wasn't just a rebrand. It was a $46 billion gamble on a future that didn't exist yet. You were told the Metaverse would be the next version of the internet. You were told you would live, work, and love inside a digital utopia. But while the marketing promised a revolution, the reality was a desperate, hollow land grab. This is the story of how one man tried to own reality itself, and how he burned billions of dollars trying to force you into a headset. You think you're watching a technological evolution. You're actually watching a corporate autopsy. To understand the fall, you have to understand the panic. By 2021, the walls were closing in on Mark Zuckerberg. Apple had just released its App Tracking Transparency update, a move that cost Facebook $10 billion in a single year. For the first time, the gatekeepers were locking the doors. Zuckerberg realized he didn't own the pipes his business ran on. He was a tenant on the iPhone, and the rent was becoming too high. He needed his own hardware. He needed a world where he was the landlord, the police, and the god of the platform. This wasn't a vision born of inspiration. It was born of fear. The term metaverse was stolen from a 1992 dystopian novel called Snow Crash. In the book, the metaverse is a grim escape from a collapsed society. Somehow, Silicon Valley read that and thought it was a business plan. They took a warning and turned it into a mission statement. Here is how the mechanism actually worked. The metaverse was never about the graphics or the fun games. It was about the data. Think about what your phone knows about you. It knows where you go and what you click. Now, imagine a headset with cameras facing inward at your eyes. Meta's patent filings revealed the true endgame. They wanted to track your pupillary dilation to see if you were sexually attracted to an advertisement. They wanted to monitor your gait to predict your health. They wanted to map your living room to see what brands of furniture you owned. This wasn't a game. It was a biometric vacuum. To make this work, they pumped billions into reality labs. They were spending money faster than any company in human history. Over $1 billion a month was being vaporized on legless avatars and clunky headsets. You were being bribed into a digital prison with the promise of connection, while they were building the most invasive surveillance apparatus ever conceived. But there was a problem. Nobody wanted to go. The cost wasn't just financial. It was human. Consider the case of Horizon Worlds, Meta's flagship social platform. Within months of launch, reports began to surface of virtual groping and harassment. Because the platform lacked basic moderation, it became a digital wasteland of screams and bugs. Even the employees at Meta didn't want to use it. Internal memos leaked showing management practically begging staff to spend time in the metaverse. "Why don't we love the product we've built so much that we use it all the time?" one executive asked. The answer was simple. It was soul-crushing. Outside the company, the land rush was a catastrophe. Speculators spent millions of real dollars on digital plots of land. Companies like Walmart and Gucci bought real estate in a void. They thought they were buying the future. They were actually buying coordinates in a dying database. By 2023, the value of those digital plots had crashed by 90%. It was a graveyard of corporate vanity. You'd think they would have stopped. You'd think $40 billion in losses would trigger a moment of clarity. But the pivot didn't end. It just changed its name. Suddenly, the word metaverse disappeared from Zuckerberg's earnings calls. It was replaced by artificial intelligence. But look closer. The hardware is still there. The Quest 3, the Ray-Ban smart glasses, they aren't giving up on the metaverse. They are just trying to sneak it onto your face through different frames. They are waiting for the technology to catch up to their hunger for control. Apple entered the fray with the Vision Pro, validating the nightmare. Now, it's no longer just a meta problem. It's a race to see who can layer a digital filter over your physical world. They want to monetize your line of sight. They want to put a price tag on your peripheral vision. Imagine a world 5 years from now. You don't wear a headset, you wear contact lenses. You walk down the street, but you don't see the homeless man on the corner because your reality filter has replaced him with a digital tree. You don't see the cracks in the pavement, you see a golden path. But you have to pay a subscription to keep the premium reality active. If your payment fails, the world goes gray. Advertisements begin to float in your field of vision, unskippable and constant. This is the destination of the metaverse. Not a place you go, but a layer you can never take off. It is the final frontier of capitalism, the colonization of the human mind. Meta's billion-dollar mistake wasn't the technology. It was the assumption that we wanted to leave. They bet that we were so tired of our lives, so exhausted by our reality, that we would gladly plug into a corporate simulation. They forgot that the one thing you can't digitize is a soul. The metaverse isn't failing because the graphics are bad. It's failing because it is a lonely, sterile, and terrifying vision of the future. Mark Zuckerberg spent $40 billion to learn that you can't buy friendship and you can't manufacture a world out of thin air. But don't be fooled. He hasn't stopped. He's just waiting. Next time you see a commercial for a connected world, remember the price of admission. It's not your money. It's your reality. Stay grounded, because once you put the headset on, you might find there's nothing left to come back to.